For $89, you can pick up this brand new Windows Phone, the BLU Win Junior. We're going to do an unboxing and show you what it's all about. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, Daniel Rubino here, Windows Phone Central, and check this out, we got the BLU Win Junior. It is a new device from a company called BLU. They're based out of Miami, Florida, and this is a US only device at this point. BLU traditionally makes low-cost Android devices, and they usually come in a wide variety of colors. Of course, this one is just white. The Junior, though, is one of their first phones. They're also going to have a Win HD coming out. But the Junior is extremely affordable. It is $89, and that is the full cost of the phone. There is no contract involved. Once it's yours, it's yours. And it also is a dual SIM phone, which is pretty interesting. So it should work on all bands, including AT&T and T-Mobile. Now, you do not get LTE with this device, so it is a budget phone. You're going to only get HSPA+, so that may be a downside. Well, let's take a look here. And what's kind of neat about this phone too is you can order it right from Amazon, and you can get an Amazon Prime to you for 89 bucks. And you can also get it from Microsoft, who are going to start selling it in their stores. You get this cool little blue sheet here with some of your information about what comes in this this box, and you get the phone itself here. Now you are looking. I do really like BLU's marketing. I should say their design is pretty good considering you know, they're a low-cost budget phone developer. The Win Junior here has not the greatest specs, but don't forget this is an $89 phone. You're looking at a Qualcomm Snapdragon 200 quad-core 1.2 gigahertz processor. You got a 5 megapixel rear camera plus a VGA front-facing camera, so that's pretty nice. That's right up here. 4-inch vivid display, 4 gigs of internal memory, not very impressive, of course. In fact, when I usually run 4 gig devices, you're usually looking at about you know, only a gig of actual available space. But luckily this does take micro SD, and you can expand it. They say up to 32 gigs. I'd be curious if it actually goes higher than that. It may very well, but you can of course install apps and games to that micro SD card as well with Windows Phone 8.1, which is what this comes with, as you can see right there. Pretty nice design though. You can see overall, I do, like I said, like their sort of marketing stuff there. This is probably going to be much like the Lumia 530, although this does have some cool stuff on it. So yeah, you get a 5 megapixel camera just like the 530 does, but you do get a flash, so the 530 does not have that. Likewise, you also look like you get an ambient light sensor and a front-facing camera. Both those things are also lacking on a Lumia 530. Let's see, oh, this is all kind of already kind of popped open here. I wonder if they did that on purpose, or yeah, that must be so you can know to open up the device. So as you can see, I peel off the back cover there. It felt a little interesting taking it off. I almost felt like I was going to snap it, but they must have it on there pretty well. And you can see on the back here we got the 2 SIM slots, so it looks like it takes, looks like full SIMs actually, which is kind of interesting. And then you have a micro SD slot right there, and then we'll put in the battery as well. Overall though, pretty nice design. And the battery, let's see, I don't know if it says the size on this. I believe it's in the 2000 milliamp range. And they got that on there pretty good, that plastic. And let's see here. It's a 1950 milliamp battery. So not huge, but then again, considering what this is powering, you should be able to get some decent battery life out of that. And then we got their logo on there. What else does it come with? Wow, this is pretty cool. You don't see this very often, especially for an $89 phone, but this comes with its own free case. And that's actually not a bad case. It's a nice matte, and it's a kind of a, you can see it's flexible. It's one of those flexi TPU type cases. Clear, so you get to maintain the color of the device, as this comes in a wide variety of colors. And you got cutouts for speakers. So you may not need it, especially for $89, but that is a, you know, definitely a nice thing to have thrown in there. Of course, you're going to get your USB chargers. So you got your wall charger there, nice little traditional wall mount one. And then you got your cable. for recharging, and it is a micro USB as expected, and you just plug that in, and it even threw in headphones, which now this is pretty fascinating, right? If you guys buy phones here in the US, it's kind of rare that they come with headphones these days. They always used to, but they don't really anymore. This $89 phone comes with headphones and a case, so that is pretty cool. And who knows the quality of these things, but hey, they don't look too bad at least. They at least look like they're pretty large speakers, and you do get the controls for presumably answering your calls and a microphone built in there, so you can use that on the go. I'll give those a try later to see how good they are. And you got a nice little book here, which shows you everything about the phone. And let's see what else we got. Oh, and they even threw in a screen protector. This is like an entire kit all in one phone. That is pretty nice. It's their own Win Junior. Look at that. Everything's branded nicely. Kudos to BLU. I'm impressed with their service here with everything. Let's pop in this battery and we'll see how well this actually works. Now, we're not going to expect the best performance in the world, but I have to admit, Windows Phone 8.1 does run pretty well on these low-end processors. I've been really impressed with my Lumia 530, which I actually have, and I'll show you guys in a few minutes. Let's see, let's watch that boot up. BLU, bold like us. Now, the reason BLU is able to, of course, make Windows phones now is because Microsoft back in March lessened their restrictions on hardware, and so there are many budget manufacturers now jumping on board, basically taking their old Android, or I should say current Android hardware, and just putting Windows Phone on it. Now for some people that's annoying, but I actually really like it, although it is going to increase my Windows Phone collection by quite a bit. We'll get next. So I'm just going to set this up, and then I'll come back here in a few moments and we'll show you the OS and give you a quick tour. Okay folks, we're back here and I got this phone fully up and running now, and you can even see I got the OS all set there. Now before I go into the OS, let me just give you a quick tour of this what is actually a really nice phone. I'm not going to kid you. Over here you have the volume rocker. Now, as anyone who knows smartphones, these buttons can vary. These buttons are actually pretty good. They have a nice, you can hear that, nice click to them. I really like the way they feel. Coming over here, you have a power button. It's a little bit small, but it actually works. I guess, you know, this is how they're anticipating you're going to use it, which kind of makes sense. You need the bigger one for your thumb, and then you have the smaller button here for your index finger, and it works pretty well for as a power button. I thought it'd be too small, but it actually I have no issues with it. Coming to the top here, there's your micro USB charger, so it is a top charger. You also have the headphone jack. Of course, nothing in the bottom. Coming to the back here, you got your single speaker, and they did put little nodules there so that when it lays flat, you know, it keeps that area clear so you can hear your alerts and notifications. Nice logo there on the back along with the camera. I think it looks really elegant, but you know, your taste may vary. And of course there is no dedicated camera button, which has been unfortunate. And you can see right here they leave you this little notch here for pulling off the back cover, which is kind of nice as well. Now what I found real interesting, it's gonna be hard to show you guys. I did mention earlier about how this comes with a screen protector, and actually I didn't even check inside here. Yeah, so you have the screen protector, but that's actually an extra one. The device ships with a screen protector on, and it's kind of hard to see. You can sometimes see it around the camera there, right around there. You can sort of see where that sticker is. And there are a couple little air bubbles in here, but nothing too big. But yeah, that's they actually ship with the screen protector built on. Of course, I could peel it off, I suppose. And speaking of the display, let's go to that now. So you're looking at a 4-inch display, and mind you, it's a 400 by 840 resolution, so you're not dealing with a HD display. But you do actually have real keys on this. So this has been something we haven't seen on low-cost devices for Windows Phone lately, who've been putting these on-screen keys. BLU actually made real physical keys, so kudos to them. I'm actually prefer them. Although, you have to admit, with the HTC One, I'm actually quite used to using the on-screen keys. So you get this nice little 4-inch display here. It is pretty good. I'm not going to kid you. I think it is better than a Nokia Lumia 530, which looks a little bit more washed out to me. It's going to be kind of hard to tell in the video. But if I had to pick one, device, actually, I would actually choose this BLU over the 530. I just think it's overall really well designed. Coming into the OS itself, you're talking a very basic setup here. In fact, it didn't even put the camera on the start screen, nor did they have it in the quick launch area. You can of course add it later on, but yeah, it's just one thing that they didn't do. So as far as apps go, you're looking at the most basic apps for Windows Phone here. You have to understand, BLU obviously does not make their own software, so you're not going to see too much in the way of differentiation in that area. And typically when it comes to settings, you're just looking at the most basic settings. For the OS build, you're going to be looking at a Windows Phone 8.1 12400, which is actually one of the more recent builds. If you use the preview for developers, you should be familiar with that. That's actually pretty much up there with the latest ones. If we go into storage sense, I haven't even seen this yet to see what we have. So it comes with 1.47 gigabytes of free space, which, is not a lot, obviously, but when compared to, say, the Nokia Lumia 530, you're getting about a half a gig extra of space. That's, of course, some of those optional programs that Nokia pre-installs, which can be uninstalled, so not a huge deal, but that's what you're dealing with right out of the box. Of course, you can put that SD card in there, and here you can manage all that stuff for your photos, your videos, and apps. So always nice to have that expansion. Overall, though, the speed feels, feels like the Lumia 530 in terms of performance. It's not going to be the fastest phone out there, but it is not a subpar experience. Once you start using these types of devices, you really start to enjoy, just how fast and fluid Windows Phone can be. Now let's talk about the camera, because this is always interesting, right? So you got a 5 megapixel camera, flash, which is more just an LED torch. It doesn't actually flash. And of course you have our front-facing camera. I'm actually pretty surprised. The photos are pretty decent, actually. Here's a selfie I did of myself, and you can see these on WP Central for this article. It's not a great quality. That's probably one of the lowest quality ones you can get. But it works, it's what you expect it to be. I took some other photos here, and that's actually using the LED on board. And it actually, lightens up the photo quite nicely. But I gotta tell you, for a 5 megapixel shooter, it's not too bad. It does have autofocus on there too, which is really good. And that's another thing that separates it from the Lumia 530, which also has a 5 megapixel camera, but no autofocus, meaning it's fixed. This allows you to do macro shots and, select a focus, and it works just a little bit better than just having a, fixed focus system. But overall, the cameras are better than I thought they were. The feel of the device is great. The display is actually really good, considering what it is. And I haven't tried the speakers yet, though. When I go to write this up, I will mention the audio quality of them. So far it seems fine to me. But there you go. There's a quick look there at the BLU Win Junior, an $89 Windows Phone. And I have to admit, I'm really impressed both with the company and the quality of their device. Not only do you get this great phone, but they throw in this case, they throw in 2 screen protectors, you get headphones, and you have a really nice device here, a device I wouldn't mind using or letting other people know that they can pick up this option. And it should be good on AT&T, T-Mobile, and basically any other GSM carrier here in the United States. So there you go. Head to WP Central and tell us what you think, or leave a comment below. Take care, everybody.